Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Chaos to Calm Budgets. Welcome to new subscribers. Thank you for joining me on this journey. This is our journey where we're trying to pay off all of our debt. We have started with over £70,000 of debt through cash stuffing and budgeting. It's the beginning of a new month, November, and before you know it, Christmas will be here. So yeah, all exciting times, but also a lot of work to do for the budget and trying to stay on track. This month I am trying to reduce spend where we can, and using different methods to do that. So I'll keep you all abreast of that as we go. Today it's the big one, beginning of the month, with cash stuff in our envelopes. I do love doing this at the beginning of the month. So yeah, it's one of my favourite videos to do. I believe, let's have a look. Yeah, I'm cash stuffing £874 in the envelopes. I've also got my placeholders for food, fuel and fun to put in as well. So let's just make sure that I've got all of the cash there ready to go. I'm going to start from the 20s and go there. So I've got 20, 40, 60, 81, 20, 40, 60, 82, 20, 40, 60, 83, 20, 40, 60, 84, 20, 40, 60, 80, 480. I'm just going to put those to one side. It's a 480, 490, 500, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 6, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 7, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 8, and then 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 860, 865, 870, and then 4. £874 to go. Now, you would have known from my previous videos, I've got a fair few IOUs in my envelopes, so we're going to be clearing as much of that off as we can by the cash stuffing. So there's a lot probably going to go into spent on credit that I'll need to take to the bank today, which will be absolutely fine. But it's just good to get back on track with everything. So to review this month's budget, we want to, for our goals, we're going to plan out the snowball. So in the previous videos, you would have known that I've got a little bit in a pickle with all the credit cards and, you know, which one do we prioritise first, that kind of thing. And just being a bit thrown by some of the interest as well that we've been charged on those. So I am going to, we've decided to go with the snowball method. We're going to pay off the smallest credit card first and go backwards. I have already cleared off my credit card this month with because we've been paid. So in terms of what we've been paid, I've had my wage of £3,660.11. It was slightly lower than last month, and I don't know why, and I haven't had a chance to have a look at my wage slip, but I'm not overly worried about that. I didn't get in the subscription, the registration fee that I have to pay for my job, so I need to make sure I get a claim back on that through work. Mr. B's wage is £2,141.90. We get child benefit every month of £173.20. We get £5 back from the in-laws to pay towards our Netflix because they access our Netflix. And then I take £200 of my son's DLA to add into this budget because he has an awful lot of activities that meet his needs. So we take that, and then I save the rest in another account. So it's £6,180.21 in total that we have. And then in terms of our savings, we put £100 a month in our emergency fund, £100 a month in for kids investment. We're saving towards a 40th birthday trip for myself. We did go away for my husband's a year ago. It will be 2 years next year. There's 2 years between us. And so we are going to go away for that. We pay £100 a month every month for our towards Christmas. So we have £1,200 in our budget for Christmas, and I'll keep you all abreast of how we're doing with that. And then I did have to borrow some DLA money, so I've paid that back as well, and that's the last. So that's everything we've owed back on the DLA payment. So £550 has already gone back into savings there, and that's already paid. In terms of what our outgoings look like, we have our mortgage of £726.20, our bank loan of £525.52, a kitchen loan of £341.16, bedroom furniture of £127.77. We pay £14.65 for a dining table that we've put on finance. Some of these are interest free, so you might be thinking, why the hell have you only paid, why didn't you just get that dining room table paid off? And you're right, we could, but it's interest free, so I'd rather just keep ticking along with that and focusing on our credit cards for now. I have paid £790.51 on our credit cards and trying to get those cleared off. And then we have the normal kind of utilities of mobile phone, gas, electricity. The gas and electricity I keep a very close eye on. I don't trust gas and electricity companies. I think they deliberately put direct debits to be higher than what they necessarily need to be, so that you accumulate, and they hold that money, and they earn the interest on that, and they like it when people have a lot of money stored in there where you've basically paid too much and you don't need to, you haven't used that much gas and electricity. So I try and keep our gas electricity payment where I think it needs to be, not where they think it needs to be, because we pay gas and electricity for 12 months over the year. The idea of it being that you spread that cost over the year. We moved in October, so naturally I'm going to go into a deficit over the Christmas, over the winter period, but we make it up back in the summer. So we were in credit, as we've just started to now turn our heating on. So I've reduced it from 250. I wanted to get it to 200, but the system wouldn't allow me to do it, but £202.67. I really would encourage yours. It's not like the gas and electricity need your money. They've got billions, haven't they? It's a farce, really, the gas and electricity companies right now. We pay water rates of £107.36. I thought it was this month, but it's not. It starts next month. We get a 4-month break, and then I'm going to put that money along with the extra DLA money and the extra, because we get 13 payments of child benefit and DLA. I'm going to put that towards the holiday fund that we're paying towards. Council tax of £194. We will get 2-month break in February and March, and that will go towards our holiday at that point as well. So TV licence, my husband's Specsavers of £19 for his contact lenses. We pay a bank account fee, that's to cover for breakdown cover, travel insurance, that kind of thing. I do keep that monitoring to make sure that that still does meet our needs, because I did go away from paying a bank account fee for a while, because I thought that we were getting better coverage and better value paying individually, because we don't need all the coverage that the bank account package offers. So yeah, life insurance of £76.11. That's a life and critical illness for both me and my husband. We did have a review earlier on in the year, and they were looking at basically trying to increase our coverage. We decided against it. We think that although it might not cover all eventualities of the package that we've got at the moment, we think it's sufficient for what we could manage should anything happen to either one of us. So we kept that the same. Car tax, £18.37. We do pay a dentist plan. Going forward for the dentist plan, not only am I going to put the £58 in for, well, it's a direct debit that goes out, I'm also going to start a fund of around £50 a month, I think. My daughter is likely going to benefit from having braces. She's got an orthodontic appointment coming up. We are with a private provider now. I just got fed up with the NHS provider that we were using, and just NHS providers in general. They're not prioritised, and then we miss appointments, or they cancel appointments on us. And having had a real journey with my own teeth as a child, the importance of oral hygiene is really important. I'd rather just invest in my kids and make sure that they have every opportunity to have good care of their teeth while they're young. So that's the decision we made there. Myself and my husband have repeat prescriptions, so it's good for us to have a prescription prepayment card, so we pay for that. That's £22.90 for both of us. My little man's swimming, his football, his kickboxing, his drumming he does at school. He's a very good drummer, by the way. It's he must get some sensory feedback on it or something, but he's very good at it. Daughter's guides, we pay for a national trust. We need to start utilising that more, really, for days out. But they my husband took the kids out this week. He was off this week, so they did get an outing. But yeah, it would be good to get more outings and make more use of that membership there. We do pay for Apple One. Basically that covers, we've got a family package and it's really good value of £36.95. that gives us our music, Apple TV, Apple Fitness, which I utilise pretty much every day in the week on a fitness plan. So yeah, that's really good value. We pay for that. We have a Netflix package. We pay kids pocket money each, and this is my injection, the checkup payment. I use Checkup as the provider. I've gone on to Wegovy because Mounjaro has just become unaffordable now. I'm not getting on with Wegovy in terms of it's not having the same effect or the same impact. So one of my other plans this month is I want to plan out my weight loss. I need to really push myself so that I'm not relying on injections, and I really want to come off that and start utilising that. When I hit 40 next year, what I want to do is increase voluntary contributions to my pension, because if I can do that for 20 years and utilise this sort of money for that, I can look at early retirement, which is what our end goal is. We want to be young enough to be able to enjoy our years and do travelling and do the things that we want to do. So we want to prepare for that. That's one of our long-term goals. Kids Amazon and printer ink, we've got that on a subscription depending on how much we print. And then we have lottery, and I also do a hospice lottery as well for the local hospice. That's £15 this month. It only comes out every 3 months, I think, so I just make a note of it at the top to make sure I include it in our budget for that month. And then in terms of our food, for fuel, fun and sinking funds, it's a total of £1,654 altogether, including the savings and the money towards paying back my mom. So with my dad's ashes, we have all opted, myself, my 2 sisters and my mom, we're having a piece of jewellery. I think we've all gone for rings. I've always wanted to put another meaningful ring on this side. I've obviously got my wedding ring and my engagement ring there, and we have having some jewellery made with some of the ashes of my dad. So mine has been a total of 500, and they are expensive, but I wouldn't do it any other way. I wouldn't. No one's going, I don't think we will make any other decision around that. 500 and something or other pounds. My mum's paid for them all, bless her. So I'm paying her back, and we've agreed around it. Well, I'm paid £100, and then with the remaining, I think it works out to £109. I don't think I've made a note of it. Let's have a look if I put it on my... No, I haven't written it down for next month. Did I put it on a note somewhere? About £109 something or other for the next 4 months to basically clear that off on a standing order. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to getting that ring on there. So that's the plan there. And then in terms of my 3 other goals for this month, savings tracker for holidays. So we've got our anniversary and our family holiday. The family holidays is all booked. We know how much that we need to save for that. So I want to have little tracker cards, and I was going to have a look at Etsy at some point, or I might end up designing my own, just so that I can tick off and see the progress that we're making in terms of making sure that we're covering all of that bit. And then batch cooking, because I find that if I buy in bulk and batch cook, it does help us stay within our food budget. So that's the plan there. I've just noticed I haven't filled in on here like I've done on previous months when my son has his football and what that looks like in terms of our budget. So I do need to do that. I'm not going to do that now on camera. I'll do that off camera, ready for next week when we look to balance the books. So yeah, so that's the plan for this month. Let's get stuff in. Let's get stuff in. Right, start with our more daily used ones. Now, this is what hasn't been used this month, so that can go aside. That will go towards our pound challenge. I might keep these fivers though, because it is good to have these in £5 notes. So what have I got here? I've got 20, 10, 25. So yeah, my little man just basically didn't do his football session on Thursday. We opted to give him a week. He needed a week this week. He really struggled getting to the end of the half term. He was just spent. So we've given him a bit of grace this week with activities, just to give him some space and some time out. So we need £140 going in there. I'm going to swap this out. So I'm going to put 25 there. Yeah, 25 aside, then put that in there, and then yeah, 140 to go in there. I'm going to use £100 in tens and what I can in fact fives, 5, 10, 15, 20, and then that's 40, and then 100, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. £140 in for football. Done. Guides, we need the £4 for her tuck. 1, 2, 3 and 4. There. And then so I'm thinking I'm going to change that £5 coins. I'll come back to it. Let's see how we do. Right, placeholders, food. So we have overspent last month. I said I was going to take that off. So it was £600 there. £600 for food this month. I'm going to take 105 to make sure I cover that. I'd rather go over than under. So 600 minus 105. So 194. 494. What am I doing? So 1, 2, 3. Actually, 1, 2. Put that 100 back. Another 200. 400. And then 90. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 90 and 5. Put that side there, and then on my little notepad here, just quickly write down £105 food spent on credit, so I know to put that on the credit card from that budget. That's fine. I can get rid of that little IOU. Now I have done a weekly shop this week, but that will be balanced out next week when I balance the books in next week's video. In fuel, we do have an IOU of £76.60. Now, I think it was £80. I'm just going to keep that blank. That's paid for. And fuel spent on credit. So that's that. Yeah, there should be enough in there. We're going to really push ourselves to stretch the fuel in my husband's car, utilise the electric car where we can within reason. Now, this has been spent already from last month. We had a cheeky takeaway. We kept in budget on the cheeky takeaway. We managed it. I utilised basically vouchers and whatnot, so that's all gone. But then we do need to put in £100. I'm not sure £100 is going to be enough in terms of what other activities since I did this budget we have signed up for, but we will go with it and we will try and keep within all of that. So that's that. Spent on credit won't be in there at the moment. And then joint account, nothing to go in there. Spare, I will put the £25 saved from his football last month, and that can go towards my pound challenge because we are quite behind on the pound challenge. Right, that's that folder. Then we'll go for our medium term ones. So this is kind of as and when. So we need to put in £80 into the hair budget. So 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 already in there. And then I'll put in 80, 20, 40, 60, 80. I might change some of those 10s out. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, and then there's 40 there. I will change those out to 20s. No, 120, 210s, because it's £30 every time my husband goes to. So it's good that they have the right denomination when they go to the barbers. So that's that one. Nails, I'm getting them done today. I can't wait. I put in £50 because I need to have a soak off and a reapply. So we'll put in 50 for that one. In fact, I might do 2 10s for that. Save some of my 20s for the longer term savings so that for cash condensing purposes. Is that open? Yep. £50 in there. Right, beauty. Nothing in IOU, but I'm putting in £30. So I think that will probably be spent this month because I have some skincare that I need to purchase. So that goes in there. Clothes, 50. That again, that will probably have been spent because my daughter went and got some joggers this week. So that will be probably balanced out next week. And I need to get some new leggings as well, so that's probably going to be spent. That won't be drawn on. £90 for birthdays. So this month we have my little man's birthday and my niece's birthday, which is coming up. So I need to have a think about what to get her. Sorry, 20, 40, 60, 80, and then 90. Again, I might change some of these for some 10s. I put £40 of 10s in there. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let's just double check that. 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Lovely. Ready for birthdays. So my little man's at the end of the month and also my niece's. And I think I've put in a little extra just to try and build it back up again. Nothing in family fun. We're going to take that out. In fact, I'd still got an IOU there, so I might have to look at, see if I can. I'm going to take, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it out, the money that we didn't use on the spare, and put that on to spent on credit, and then the IOU can go. And then spent on credit. Lovely jubbly. Get rid of those IOUs. And then miscellaneous, £50, but I've already spent 38, so I'm going to put 10 basically, put the rest on spent on credit. So 40 into spent on credit, and then 10 for the folder miscellaneous. Anything that pops up that we might need to pull on. Spent on credit is there. There we go. And then that is it for that folder. And then the long-term folder. Let's have a look what we are putting in this month. Nothing in the phone repair. I've decided to put that on hold for a while because I keep having to take from it for other things. £50 into car maintenance. So we'll do that. For my husband's car, because mine's a lease car, so it's all encompassing on that. It covers everything. It's a good package. So we'll just keep my husband's car ticking over and keep that saving. House maintenance, £50, and I've already spent on there. So that's 21, 28. I'm going to keep that as 25. So I'll put 25 in there and then 25 in the spent on credit. Yeah, 10 and 20 and 5. And then 20, and I'll use these coins to go on the spent on credit. Oh, it feels good getting rid of these IOUs. Just hope that we keep it that way. Might keep that change that for a tenner actually. Yep, let's do that. 5 there. Coins back there. Tenner there. I'm done. And then nothing in travel spending money. We'll wait till we're a bit closer to the time before we go on holiday, before we start saving on that. 180 into our 2026 holiday folder. So 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80 there. So what we've got in here so far is the 540. So let's add that up. 540 just for the hell of it. 540, 50, 60, 70, 80, 600, and 20, 40, 60, 80, 720. That's nice. That is good. Yeah, £4,000 is what we need to pay in total for the holiday next year. It's 2 weeks in Cornwall. We've booked a house, a very lovely house on the seafront in St Ives. Yeah, super excited. We're going with my mother and father-in-law and my sister, well, ex-sister-in-law and her 2 children. Our niece and nephew. £100 to go into our anniversary, so that should be what's left. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 95 and 100. Love it when a plan comes together. I might do some switching around in terms of having the coins somewhere else. In fact, no, I will keep it in there. It's good to have options of change when we need to. So it doesn't do it any harm sitting in there. And that is that. We are all done for the big one. Just double checking. I just need to make sure that I move those around from pots into spent on credit. And we are all done. Thank you ever so much, everybody, for joining me this week. I hope you have a wonderful week and a wonderful month. I hope you are budgeting and getting on top of it. It does feel so good when we start a new month. It feels like a fresh start. We will keep putting our learning, progress, not perfection, into practice, and we'll take each month as it comes. Have a great one. Take care. Bye-bye.